Hi, Nancy Burt-Preece here, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I want to show you this fun carved wood technique using the sunflower embossing folder, which is a 3D folder, and some stamp pads. I'm also using for the sentiment the new Fern and Flora that will be out May 5th. As well as some 2025 to 27 in color dots. And I am using a light Timid Tiger and a light Old Olive just for the inside. I didn't put anything on the inside because I figured, you could write a note. So let me show you what you need for this card. You need 2 whites. The outside one we're going to do a little bit of, putting a little bit of score lines in it. So we'll do that in a minute. The inside one is 3 3/4 by 5. This is also 3 3/4 by 5, just to give you this little extra around it. This is a 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. This is Timid Tiger. So let's start with this piece. And the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to move this off a little bit, is we're going to score with a light blade every 1/2 inch. Now the first 1/2 inch I'm going to do on the right hand side. I find it easier. And then I'm going to do, you could use a scoreboard. I'm just using my I'm doing it this way because it's just easy and quick for me. So now I've got this up to 1 inch. I'm going to go to 1 1/2 and to 2 and 2 1/2 and to 3. So can you do it a little bit larger? Yep, if you do 1/2 inch increments, it doesn't make a difference. So I've got this. Now, if you come to my class, I have some stamp pads that don't have the word old on them. This one is relatively, I can use it either way. So this one you can use. But if it says old, those are the ones you're going to use to drag. So the first one I'm going to start with is the crumb cake. Now you can see when you score, you put a line and it kind of goes down. I'm turning it so you can feel the ridges. And it's really easy and fun. All I'm going to do is drag. And you notice I have a little stuff on there. It's okay. It's not going to be a problem. Okay, just keep turning it over and dragging. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss it. And here, if you put it in this way, what you're going to do is make sure the white part is here and the color is in the back because we really want the debossed side. So I am going to go ahead, put it in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm using my base plate and the number 4 plate. And so I'm going to go ahead and emboss it. And that's what we've got so far. So that's kind of fun. Now what I'm going to do on this side is I'm going to use my old Early Espresso. Will you get ink all over your hands? Yep, pretty much. And you're going to just drag it down. So see, when you do that first one and you get a little bit of a yuck mess there, doesn't make a difference. Covers it right up. In fact, it gives it a little interest. You keep doing it as dark as you want. I'm going to leave it there, but you can do it darker if you choose. Now, because I kind of wanted it a little bit of color in there, I'm going to now drag my pumpkin pie. So I'm just kind of making sure that's pretty dry. And I'm going to kind of drag that in, especially in the flower area. Really get a little bit of the pumpkin pie in there. Just to add it a little bit of interest to it. Isn't that the simplest technique? I mean, gosh, I love stuff when they happen like that. That is just awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my early espresso mat. This is important to use adhesive all around the edges. When you emboss, sometimes it doesn't want to stay down as much. I'm putting a lot of adhesive on that on purpose so that it will really, and even over here, I didn't get some right on the edge. You want this to hold the edges down. So I'm going to come through and I made this mat 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm just going to really push it down, hold it. Isn't that, I mean, gosh, that is so simple. I love when a technique like that comes out wow every time you do it. And it's really simple. I'm going to go ahead and add this here. Now, the next part I'm going to do is I didn't tell you correctly, I am using the Fern and Flora dies also, which is this little die. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp with my nice early espresso, not the old pad, the nice one. I'm going to stamp that. Now, if I don't like that, the beautiful thing about this technique is you just stamp it again. And I'm going to use my nice color of Timid Tiger. Oops, almost put it in the wrong one. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that out on my Stampin' Cut emboss machine. This time I'm using my base plate, the number 2 plate, and my 2 clear, dropped my thing, my 2 clear plates. So it just goes very quickly. Sorry, I'm doing it off camera. I find that it seems to wiggle the whole table, and when I do it on camera, it is a lot of wiggling. All right, let me see if I can get it. I will have washi tape, which is a great way to get it centered completely. I'm doing this one quickly, so it might not be the best, but we'll see. No, I didn't do the greatest job, but that's okay. So here, I'll show you what I did. Oh, I got too much on that side. Here's the way I fix it. As I come through. Now, do you have to do that? No. But if it bugs you, it's easy to do. So that's why I usually do a better job when I'm trying not to rush on camera. Now, I'm going to pop that up on the front. And I'm going to add a Timid Tiger dot to the front. And the only other thing I added is I liked this little flower. Where's my original here? I like that little flower, kind of look like a little bit of a sunflower. And so I'm going to stamp that in Memento. And I'm going to show you a super quick coloring. Can you put more on? Yes, of course you can. And I'm going to super quick color this. And I am not even doing a ton of strokes, if you can see. I'm just going very quickly, adding some color. If you get a little bit of white left, that's okay. That's very artful. So you don't have to worry about coloring it in perfectly exact. Okay, then I'm going to come through with my light old olive. You notice I went outside a little bit. Totally fine. And I have my inside. And I made my inside a little bit smaller. Sometimes people don't like to write a ton. So a very simple carved wood technique. So I hope you give this technique a try. And if you do, share what you made. Have a great day.